Well, this is a weird one. Yesterday we had Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, trying to sort of somehow make the figures add up because she's given 22% to the junior doctors. And now we've got a story in the Times saying they're saying next year they're going to go on strike again, Carol.
Yes, this is the bloke who was, I think he's the deputy, this guy called Robert Lawrence, and he's the co-chairman of the Junior Doctors Committee of the BMA. So in the morning, yesterday morning, he was saying that it was a good deal and whatever. By the afternoon, he was trashing it and saying it's not a very good deal, even though we're recommending you take it. I mean, what is wrong? What has happened to junior doctors to make them think that a 22% pay rise, 5 times the rate of inflation, is not a good deal?
They think it's about they're making up a big gap from years ago.
They're saying that, but that figure that they're talking about, the left behind from 2 away, those figures have been disputed hugely. And I just think, the BMA now has become an overtly political organisation, and they seem to forget that they're representing people whose job it is to save lives. And I think they're doing doctors a huge disservice. I think people are changing their mind about what they feel about doctors, because you don't want to think your doctor's going to walk out on you if you're sick. And this is what this bloke was saying.
What do you think, Phil? They genuinely seem to be planning another action for next year.
Didn't Reeves say yesterday that she needed to pay them because it's costing more, and by paying them, then it's better value for all of us? Yeah. So,
that's a stupid argument.
I don't know why she said that, because that's
a green light to just let's do it all again next year.
Yeah, and they're going
to have an annual strike. I mean, but I don't. It seems odd that she would say that, because it does say to the doctors, yes, look, we cannot. If you want to strike, we have to say yes to your demands, because we can't afford the alternative.
It's not just to doctors; it's to every single person in public service.
Well, train drivers arguably have been on strike, and it hasn't mattered so much because everyone says, OK, I won't go into work.
Yeah, and teachers will strike. If Rachel Reeves' attitude is we'll just pay whatever they ask because it's cheaper, and it doesn't work out cheaper in the long run. Not if everyone is asking for pay rises and get them. 22% is huge. They should be dancing in the streets, and instead they're threatening more. And this terrible, we had GPs the other day saying the same thing. They're talking about paralysing the NHS.
Well, paralysing the GPs are talking about seeing patients for longer. I thought that's a bit of a bonus.
Well,
they're saying we're going to spend as much time with patients as we need to, and it's going to bring the whole NHS to its knees.
Well, they're saying
we shouldn't be doing that anyway.
They're also they're saying that they want to, it's like 84% of GPs want to go on strike. Most GPs are partners in England anyway, and the average GP partner in England is on an average pay of 153 grand a year. That is not buttons. That is not being on the bones of your backside. And most of them work just a 3-day week, so it really kind of sickens me.
All right. Well, listen, there's more on this, because Rachel Reeves has been talking on the podcast and so on yesterday, and it's all about whether she will have to raise taxes to fund her plans. And she was talking to the News Agents podcast. Have a listen.
So inheritance tax, capital gains tax, pension reform are on the cards.
Well, we will have a budget on the 30th of October, and ahead of that budget we will have a forecast by the Office of Budget Responsibility, on this occasion based on accurate numbers.
Are you ruling any of those out now, as we speak?
I'm not going to write a budget or start to write a budget.
No, but you can rule things out. You've ruled out VAT rises and national insurance rises.
We had a manifesto on which we were elected 3.5 weeks ago.
So it might be there are rises in capital gains tax, in inheritance tax, and in pension reform, right?
We stick by everything in our manifesto, but I'm not going to start to write a budget.
They're going to do something big. I'm just trying to work out what it is. What do you think, Phil?
They're going to put up taxes, even though they said they wouldn't.
But where do you go with it? Because they can't put up income tax.
They definitely probably do something with capital gains tax, and fair enough. It's make it on a par with income tax seems logical and rational. It isn't at the moment. The Tories cut it when they came in during austerity, so they made it the lower rate than income tax rates are. So that's why people like Sunak could just pay on average 20% tax when if it was earned income, it would be 40%. So there's some logic to putting capital gains tax up. Obviously, there will be people who aren't as rich as Sunak, aren't as rich as people like him, who will be hit by it. But there's logical. Why shouldn't you pay the same rate on your unearned income as you pay on your earned income?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose somebody sets up a travel agent and they work in it for 30, 40 years, and the travel agent is then worth £5-10 million, let's say, and they've done really well, that's their whole life, and they sell it, when they sell it, should that be charged as if it's income?
Because they've been paying tax all the 40 years while they've
well,
been in
that's
business.
the whole idea, is you sell it at a lower rate. Yeah.
They're going to be paying it twice. But, you know, Reeves is just like, so she's been caught out. Do you know, I'm really sick of hearing this £22 billion black hole that she didn't know about. Why didn't she know about it? The Office for Budget Responsibility's books have been open for years. She should have known if there was a
She's been
black
into meetings with them as well.
Of course she has. So she should have known about it. So it's very disingenuous of her to say, oh, I didn't know what was going on. But she's also this week announced that she's going to hit pensions. She's going to stop the winter fuel payments.
Right. This may be rebounding on them.
Well, completely. It's 300
Yeah.
quid a year. You know, and what is it with attacking pensioners all of the time? These are some of the poorest people in the land. You know, there are more than 2 billion pensioners who have got nothing but the state pension.
Apparently they've got... But 1 in 4 pensioners is a millionaire on pension.
Yeah,
No,
1
they're
in
not on
4.
no, you've got to stop
take them out.
Yeah.
What about the ones
But
like...
they're not a millionaire. They're not millionaires. They might be in a property
agree.
that's worth
I don't know.
We
close
do
to £1 million.
agree. I mean, I think there are people stuck in the middle who are just above the level where they're not getting benefits.
Yeah.
And the £200 or £300 they get for winter fuel allowance is money Gordon Brown gave them. They've had throughout the Tory years as well. Not mentioned in the manifesto. They were going to do it, as everybody in the country knows. She knew what the books were. To pretend now she doesn't.
But Phil,
so to take that away,
it's rebounding in a big way. I'm quite surprised at the level of anger about it, and I'm wondering if they might have to reverse it.
Well, in 2000, she should do it on the basis of her hypocrisy, because in 2017 she said it's Labour who will stand up for pensioners, defending the triple lock and winter fuel payments.
And we do have the lowest pensions in Western Europe. OK, triple lock, lovely, but the lowest state pension in Western Europe.
And you get
and
taxed.
not everyone
as soon
gets...
as you go above it, you get taxed.
Yes.
Just one thing very quickly, because she's looking for some big tax rise that no one's thought of. The biggest tax loophole is the profit you make on your main house. If you've got a house and you sell it, right? And someone's been in it for 40 years and they made 200,000, she could say, that's capital gains, I'm taking 40% of it.
I was talking to an MP the other day, a Labour MP, and they said that they probably wouldn't go for people's homes.
Not even with the mansion tax and all that?
Yeah, I think that would cause a national uproar. You know, the thing about the profit you make from your house, it is a sort of a profit. However, you do put money into a house to maintain it and to look after it.
It's a great British tradition that you move house and you have some money from selling it, but maybe they need to tax it now. I don't know.
And you would crash a market.
You'd never be re-elected. That's true.